Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Carol Parisi. Jack Roser and myself are speaking to Kim Hilgieman from Awaken America, the Great Awakening Group. And Kim, again, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
What got you started, and what keeps you going in this movement, and what would you like to see from the movement?
Well, I have to tell you, I never paid attention to history in school, or I hated politics, but when you brought to my attention we could make a difference, one person collaborated together can make a difference, I thought, well, let's see what she's got going, but I never dreamed it would advance to this.
Did you get others to join you?
Yes, and collectively, we both of us, all of us. You tell two people an exponential
and it just grew.
How many people in general went to work for you broadly in this whole election? I've heard that there were some.
And it's all volunteer, Jack. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Work. How many people volunteered? Yeah, work.
Well, this is not a paid position, so our heart is in it.
That's what makes it really go.
I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you're not grassroots." I said, "What are you talking about? We're not grassroots."
You had a huge effect. There's 300,000 voters in a congressional district. You didn't just go to 10 houses.
Oh, no. Gosh. Jack, we have walk sheets. I'm not even kidding. At our meeting after we birthed a congressman, because most of us were women that did this, and we're like, we just gave birth to a congressman on the phone after we found out he won. So we related it to something that has brought a lot of joy to all of our hearts. But
I hope Joe isn't listening.
And we even went to houses that weren't on the sheet. I mean, not every house is on your sheet. So when you go door to door, sometimes we would go to the next, even though they weren't on the sheet, we would just
make sure they were registered voters, and if they weren't registered, we could actually have an opportunity.
And we've made some difference there.
Did you get them to put signs up?
Oh my gosh, tons of signs. We had such a system. We had guys driving around with signs by cell phone.
Okay, we need to sign at such and such address. It was a system.
We had people driving waters. We were walking precincts. Volunteer. People's hearts were in this.
Oh, this is terrific.
Now we had
fun doing it.
We tried. You know what? It was a lot of hard work, and the only way you could do something as hard as it was is have fun with it. But we tried to make it as fun as we could. We did come up against some opposition.
Yeah.
We had
one lady that one of our driver guys, Bob, he backed up into someone's driveway just to make to turn, and the lady was like, comes running out of her house. What are you doing in my driveway? He goes, I'm just turning around here, and because she saw the stickers Joe Walsh stickers on the back of his car, and obviously she wasn't a Joe Walsh fan, but we very kindly left her premises. He was just turning around in her driveway.
Well, if you've got a government job, you're worried about your
right. Well, I'll tell you what, we actually had people that would say, oh, this is an official Tea Party group, because we are not a Tea Party.
No, we are not.
We embrace the Tea Party
populist
movement, the ideology of free markets, constitutional conservatism. We have 5 core values. We have a mission statement.
Businessman, and I know about trade names and things like that, and you got to protect your trade name, and the Tea Party people generously have let that become a generic term.
It's a populist movement. It is the American populist movement that embraces American values.
I've been doing this kind of stuff long before anybody thought of it. I've been a nasty conservative working. I'm not very old. I'm 87 years old. I've been doing this for half a century. But I call myself a Tea Party person.
Absolutely.
It's a proud title.
Well, you know what? Kim actually sent me an email back in December of 2008.
She remembers.
I do. And remember, we were sending tea bags with our own little universe. We were sending tea bags to D.C. Then you said you got to stop because they're not even opening them. And remember, I was bringing them when we had our meetings with Nancy. I'm like, here, send these in. Because of that tarp. This is not about President Obama. Although he is the figurehead, his message is off of Americanism, but this excessive spending, this too big to fail, this bigger government bureaucracy. I mean, in 2008, when they passed TARP, I think it was back in October, I think that is what woke this movement up. And I think this passion is
A lot of people
sustainable.
think this coming election here, the primaries will be in the spring of 12. A lot of people think that we've been jerked around by the Democrats because they gave this tricky map that makes it easier for Democrats. And people think that we can't win. Well, I'll tell the whole world that we're going to take back the House and the Senate in Illinois because we are going to add that army of what we'll call Tea Party
Absolutely.
people,
Absolutely.
free Americans that are going to work together, and we're going to do what happened in Walsh and those other companies. We're going to do it across the state of Illinois, and we're going to take Illinois House and Senate back out of the hands of the Democrats that have destroyed the economy and our school system.
And Jack, you being a businessman, if you had hired someone to work for you that was bringing down it wasn't running the company and you were losing money, would you not fire that person?
Well, let's
Would you
fire the
talk to 'em
Democrats.
Yeah,
They
love
built
that.
this
They
problem.
they work for us. They need to be fired if they're not doing their
There's
job
some Republicans that
properly.
went along with them. It was a bipartisan culture of sleaze, and we're getting rid of those Republicans
You
too.
need to clean
It's
it up.
open to
Right.
taken over by the people.
Well, the
They're not
Tea
doing
Party
the job.
movement needs to stay focused on the treasure, and that's American exceptionalism and our Constitution.
freedom is
and our
being
freedom
taken.
and liberty. After the break, we'll be back to talk more.